Behind the Frenzy, sponsored by the My Auto Group.
Hey everyone, welcome into the Behind the Frenzy podcast. I'm Dean Holsworth, along with my good friend Andy McDonald, and we are talking about the state semifinals, one win away from going to Ford Field.
Yeah, we made it to this point in the season. It never feels real when it gets to the end of it. Like every year, I feel like I end up looking at the schedule towards the end when we get to just these Saturday games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's it. The Friday nights are done. That's crazy. So, yeah, I just want to thank everybody that led us on their sidelines this year again, like at all the high schools we went to. Obviously, we still have a couple more weekends of the teams that are left and whoever makes it to Ford Field. But it's been another good year on the Frenzy, and it's been a fun year covering football. Probably one of the more fun ones that I've had in a long time, to be honest, just because so many close games. I mean, I was not at a lot of games that I was leaving because it was a blowout earlier.
Yep.
Like going to, so it's been good to see some close competition and a lot of better games, which we had some of those this weekend.
We did, and a lot of parity, like you said this year. A lot of close games, a lot of really good matchups, and it was fun to watch. And we had rain, I think, one day out of all the Fridays.
Yeah, the last
last
2
2 years, we've been so fortunate with the weather. And we talk about it a lot, but like, it's not fun to be out there in pouring rain and shooting high school football. So
especially this time of the year,
especially
you get
when
to November,
it gets cold,
or
whatever. Like, we've had years where we had to shoot in the snow for the state semis, and it looks like state semifinal weather is actually gonna be pretty good this Saturday for when Andy goes to Cadillac.
Yes, I will be on my way there.
I'll be in California. He'll be in Cadillac. Where would you rather be?
Yeah, I would rather be in Cadillac, honestly. If you had to ask me, I mean, that dedication.
I think Southern California is gonna be pretty nice for soccer. But anyway,
probably not too bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna just go. We have 7 area teams still alive, looking to play on Thanksgiving weekend. We're just gonna go through each division, starting in Division 1 with East Kentwood. I was so fortunate to be able, myself and Laney Gerber were at Saturday's game at Hudsonville to watch. I was very looking forward to watching Cade Kaufman play, and boy did he impress. 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, just kind of willed that team to victory in the second half, where they outscored Hudsonville 31-0. They trailed 28-21 at the half. They won 52-28.
That's unbelievably impressive. And Michigan State fans, if you need something to look forward to, there you go. That kid's got it for
Dual
sure.
threat.
He I talked to Tyrone Spencer the other day at practice, kind of leading up to this game they have coming this weekend now, and we talked a little bit about the game last weekend, and he had to like kind of shrug his shoulders and just be like, in the second half, he said to me afterwards, he was like, even when we were up by a lot, I kind of thought to myself like, oh, Hail Mary before and whatever else. He's like, how are we going to lose this one? There's going to be some other crazy way that doesn't make any sense. And I again, it's not like anything against Hudsonville, a great season again for them, but you have to feel good for East Kentwood getting this one done, and especially the way they did it. Like that, those kids went in that locker room like, not this time. Like that's how they had to feel coming out, and the way that they played. It's just such a huge win for them in that high school, and it's great to see them moving forward in the playoffs. And yeah, that's a heck of a one to be at. It doesn't matter if Hudsonville was maybe not as good as they were last year. I mean, I feel like they were pretty close to the same, honestly, with the record that they were able to do. If you're able to do that in the playoffs to a team like that in the second half of a playoff game, that says a lot about the players in that team. That's for sure.
Definitely agree. Definitely they had a lot of motivation from the Hail Mary game.
Yeah, no doubt.
In which they lost. And the first trip to the semis for East Kentwood since 2014. And, they're going to get another test. Detroit Catholic Central is ranked number 1 in Division 1, undefeated. It's going to be a challenge, Andy, for East Kentwood.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And Tyrone talks about like how they're, kind of familiar with them because they actually did play him in a scrimmage earlier this year. So that will bode well for them. And obviously he coached on that side of the states. He's had a little bit of experience on his own. So yeah, no, I think it's going to be it's a challenge for anybody that goes to play that team. But again, he says it's 2025 now. People compete with teams that they didn't compete with in the past, and he feels like his team has a great chance to go in there and win. I wouldn't doubt it if they were able to find a way to do it, because they have a lot of athletes. They can move quick, and if they catch them slow to start that game, Maybe they pull one out. Who knows?
Yeah, I always feel like anything can happen, right? You kind of throw out the records a little bit, but anything can happen. It's one game, and like I said, you give each team a chance, and different opportunities, turnovers, like just different things can happen in a game that can just change the trajectory.
It's gonna. I think a lot about the start of this game will tell me how it's gonna go, because it's gonna be hard for them to recapture the emotions and like play a football game after just winning a game of that magnitude at home. So that's the biggest challenge for that coaching staff this week.
Yep. Last thing on that game, Detroit Catholic Central lost to Cass Tech in the semis last year.
Okay.
They've won 24 of their last 25 games.
Yeah. Oh,
so
that's crazy.
Yeah, super impressive there. Yeah. All right, Division 2, Portage Central. We've talked about Portage Central a lot this year. They're able to beat Traverse City Central 24-20. Obviously, another big win. Traverse City Central obviously upsetting Muskegon and then going out and pushing Portage Central.
Putting some points on the board.
20
now. Feels like a lot.
Yeah. So now Portage Central has given up 64 points on the year.
That's insane.
Total.
I mean, that's
through 12 games.
Think about it. Before that, that's almost half the points they gave up the whole season. So if you're Traverse City Central, you can't feel too bad about the effort you gave. That's for sure.
Right. 100%. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, another team, frequent visitor to the Ford Field, a great team from their side of the state. So Portage Central has not been in this position since 2013. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it has to be a challenge. I'm sure they're going to have to lean on that defense again to get things done for them as they have all year. But yeah, they're a very balanced football team. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing them at Ford Field. So.
Yep. Orchard Lake St. Mary's has had 2 losses this year: Detroit Catholic Central and Birmingham Brother Rice. So no slouches there.
That's a great program. I don't think there's anything hidden about that.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a challenge for Portage Central. We'll see if they're able to get it done. But yeah, it could be a good game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Division 3. Myself and Derek Hughes was another photo
journalist.
Yeah, thank you.
Photographer.
Yeah, photographer.
Videographer.
From Wood TV, we were at the Lowell Zeeland West game, and man, I got to see 2 great games back to back because the Lowell Zeeland West game was absolutely unbelievable. Back and forth, there was probably like 3 or 4 lead changes, and Lowell comes back to win 36-34 over the defending state champs.
Yeah, that game looked insane. I mean, obviously that's not where I was, but it was crazy to see the final score and to see Lowell pull that out. That's big for that program because it's been a while since they've kind of been to these heights and playing for this game, and I think that program cares about football over there a lot. They have, even through some of the seasons they have where they were down for a while. And it's good to see them getting back to that level because it's a special place to watch a game at when they're good. So
yeah, and that's what kind of coach talks about. Since he took over the program for Noel Dean, there's been some low points.
Definitely.
Through the years. They're a couple back-to-back losing seasons, but they've really found a way to kind of get back into playing these games that matter. This will be their first state semifinal game since 2016. They lost to Waller Lake Western in a thrilling game in that year in Division 2.
For sure. It's like you said, it's one of those things where like when a team like that, a program like that kind of falls off a little bit and finds a way to get back, it's the ultimate sign of respect to just show like how much they care to get back to that. Because some people never do recover or things just change and it's not the same for a long time. It wasn't that long and they're able to get back to this level. So that's cool.
Yeah, and Lowell's kind of peaking. Their quarterback, Logan Dawson, he's a dual threat guy. He's small in stature, but
crazy.
he's tough as nails, man. Tough as nails. I do love watching that kid.
He's a great player.
Love watching that kid play. And Lowell's won 6 games in a row since losing to Kennewood Hills there in the River City Alliance game earlier in the year.
I've watched Brady Rose a couple times this year for Ferris State.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of gives me the same kind of vibes that. Just a tough kid. Like, no matter what position he plays, he'd be good at it, it feels like. He's just so athletic and can do so much.
Yeah. So they play Mount Pleasant at Greenville. Mount Pleasant, another undefeated team, another very well-coached team, well-balanced team.
They just beat East Grand Rapids, correct?
Yep, 28-14. They beat East Grand Rapids. So they knocked them out of the postseason. And like I said, they're actually in the semifinals for the first time since 2011. So obviously not a lot of experience here with Mount Pleasant. So I think this will be a very interesting matchup.
I think this has the potential to be the best game of the weekend, honestly. Like I think Mount Pleasant's a lot better than people give them credit for.
Yep.
They're always competitive up there, and they find a way to be in this position, it seems like, most years. So, I think this could be a great one going down to the finish, that's for sure. And the fact they were able to beat East Grand Rapids, that's a team that's kind of, been around Lowell plenty of times in the past. So, anything's possible in this game, that's for sure.
Yep. Real quickly, that Division 1 game will be held at Jackson High School, by the way. Division 2 will be played at Hazlitt High School.
Okay.
So just for those who are going to be venturing out on Saturday to your pick.
Important to check that. Like if you are going to go to games, like make sure you check where the game's at.
Yes,
that's for sure.
yes.
No doubt about
Especially in the state semis, they're all at neutral sites. Division 4, Unity Christian goes and plays Vicksburg at Caledonia High School. So right in kind of the middle for both those guys. So we talked about Unity, and I think you did say, I think they're going to score some points and they're going to shake off some of the first half struggles they've had, and they whip Big Rapids 52-14.
Yeah, this felt like this was the game that was going to happen. Again, I've seen Big Rapids play in the past. I've seen Unity Christian play in the past. And just going off of history, I just thought there was really no chance for Big Rapids in this game to win. And it's good to see Unity do that and not mess with the team going into this game, because now I feel like they have a good chance to get over the hump and get back there again.
Yep.
I think this is one of our best chances this weekend to have a team maybe make it to Ford Field. So, it'll be exciting to see what they're able to do, and it was good to see them put up a performance like that.
Yeah, just so you guys know, so for us, we're a little biased. Like we do want as many local teams to get there because we enjoy going to Ford Field. Like we like spending the day taking pictures and taking video and writing
Yeah.
stories. So, like, I don't know. I want as many teams as possible to get there.
No,
if we
yeah,
go
but-
7 for 7 this weekend, I mean, it'd be a really busy Friday and Sunday.
Yeah. No, it's
But I
not,
still love it.
It's nice this time of the year though, because you get the chance to like finally just be like, okay, we can just cheer for our teams. You know, you don't have to be like,
100%,
you know,
yeah.
thinking about one team having a tough ending into the night. It's nice to see where it's like, hopefully our teams win. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And Vicksburg, I'll tell you, Vicksburg's the team that upset Portland, undefeated Portland, 42-41. And that was their first regional championship in school history. So Vicksburg doesn't really have the experience that Unity does. And they lost 3 of their last 4 regular season games.
Yes, that's definitely
Kind of a
something to look forward to.
surprise team, right?
Yeah, but then again at the end when they find a way to put that behind them and then get all these wins in the playoffs, I think that's just
Yeah.
even more about them. So
Yep.
yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup, that's for sure.
Yep. Division 5, West Catholic plays, how do we pronounce this? Agama?
Yeah,
Agama Heights
I had a
Falcons.
hard time pronouncing that
at
too.
Clare. The Falcons didn't have a letdown after beating Catholic Central, and they go out and beat Kalamazoo Hackett 27-0.
Yeah.
West Catholic's won 11 straight games, and they're in the semis for the first time since 2022.
Yeah, I was at that game on Friday night. And it was kind of one of those games again with West Catholic where it's just they get out to this great start, they get up 14-0, and then it felt like they just kind of let Kalamazoo United just hang around, and they really had no business hanging around that game. Like West probably should have won that game 52-0. But I do think, you know, as much as Landon said the kids were good at getting over the Catholic Central win and all the emotion, do think it had a little bit of an effect on it. I mean, I'm not saying Kalamazoo United gave it everything they had to, and they had chances in that game to score, but West Catholic's defense, credit to them, they were able to get a lot of turnovers in that game. I think it ended up being 4 total. They had 3 interceptions, so yeah, right now they're playing great, and I don't see a way they don't make it to Ford Field. It would have to be like just a game where everything went wrong for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I talked to Landon this week. I asked him, I was like, you know, able to get that Catholic Central win and still move on and get this win. Like, how do you get these guys focused? And he said, people asking us about the Catholic Central win is the only thing that is still bringing it up. So they still have to put that behind them because of people like me in the media that have to ask the questions.
Right.
But yeah, no, I love what Landon has done with that program and how competitive West is again. It's awesome to see, and I hope they make it back to Ford Field this year.
Definitely. I am expecting us to see West Catholic at Ford Field.
For sure.
Yep. All right, 2 more divisions here. Division 6, I think the storybook season of Kent City continues,
Yes,
Andy.
it does.
Biggest story of the year in
Yeah.
this area. Undefeated Kent City won their first regional championship, absolutely destroyed Montrose 50-20. And now 1 game away from going to their first state championship.
No, it's awesome. That's the kind of small town team, and it's like it's fun to see them get to heights that they've never reached before.
Yeah.
And then they have an offense that that's hard to stop with the wing team the way that they run it, and obviously their quarterback is an
Andre
absolute
Mead.
giant.
Yep.
So yeah, it's hard to stop them, and we'll see who are they playing again this weekend.
They play Kingsley.
That's right.
at Cadillac,
That's the game
where
that I
Andy's
will
gonna
be at. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see how this matchup goes. I don't know much about Kingsley, so I guess I'm going to learn this weekend.
Yes. The mascot's the Stags.
Okay.
How about
Thanks. I might need that for something. Who knows?
I'll tell you this, though. Kingsley, they lost both their games this year by a combined 8 points. Beat Reed City to win their second regional title in the last 3 years. They actually won Division 6 state title in 2023.
Wow.
So some playoff experience here against a team that doesn't have any, obviously, with
Kent
this
City.
deep of run.
Yeah,
right,
for
Kent
sure.
City.
No,
Correct. Correct.
it's a really interesting matchup. Again, these teams, and they don't really play the same kind of teams all
Yeah,
year.
and that's the same style.
It's
Yeah.
interesting to see how they match up when they get in these games. And this is one that I would argue is the most unpredictable of the weekend. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen on Saturday, so I'm sure I'm in for something. We'll see.
Yep. Hey, lastly, sorry, Division 7, Schoolcraft.
Yeah.
The Eagles of Schoolcraft play Clinton at Coldwater on Saturday. Schoolcraft is in the semifinals for the 2nd straight year. They beat Hanover Horton 22-14. Lost in the semis last year to Monroe St. Mary's Catholic. Schoolcraft 10-2. They've just had another really good season, and I'm kind of picking Schoolcraft in this one.
Yeah, they always find a way to. It seems like to get to this point or like compete, and they do.
Yeah.
They've been to Ford Field in the past when since I've been covering high school football. So I wouldn't surprise me if they're able to get there again. The one time I got to watch them this year was the night that I had 3 games out there in the Kalamazoo area. So I got to see one touchdown.
Short stint.
Off the start of the game. But yeah, I think from what I've heard about them, it seems that their offense can put up points in a hurry when they're rolling. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in Ford Field.
Yep. Well, good. All right. Well, we've run out of time here. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to a great state semifinal weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.